We're good? It is the Pete Sousa Show. We got a little bit of reverb, Zach. Is that because it's coming through the headphones? There we go. All right, we're good. We're good. We're ready to rock and roll. We are coming to you live from the Alico building on a Thursday as we get set now for the NCAA tournament. We are, look, now we're good. Big day today, March Madness, literally, I guess like in an hour and 15 minutes. The games commence, March Madness commences, the tournament starts, and it starts with the news overnight into today. By the way, we're presented by Slovacic. See that beautiful logo. Also, Crawford Austin Properties. D1, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, Socorro Family Ford. March Madness starts this morning with news here locally, right up the road, that Rodney Terry is going to get fired as head coach of Texas. And that's where I want to start today. If let's go backwards. So December of 2023. Yeah, I'm right about that. 2023, I think, or maybe 2022. 2022, I think, maybe. Chris Beard gets arrested and charged with in a domestic thing with his girlfriend at the time. Ultimately, he's let go by Texas, and Rodney Terry, who was actually brought back, he was a head coach, I think at Fresno State or UTEP. I think Fresno State. Either way, he was brought back to Texas because he was an assistant at Texas under Rick Barnes, had really helped in the recruitment of guys like Kevin Durant, right? Terry is brought back by Chris Beard, because Chris Beard's a bright guy and an amazing coach. And he's like, hey, Rodney Terry needs to be involved here in this program to help us. And so Rodney Terry is brought back. And when Chris Beard gets relieved of his duties, in a situation, by the way, it never even went to court. But that's not the point. Texas is allowed. Somebody gets brought into somebody gets dragged into the court of public opinion by that for something like an arrest. A lot of times there's a clause in a contract like, hey, regardless of what happens with the law, we reserve the right to let you go if something like that happens. And so Chris Beard's let go. Rodney Terry takes over. The team goes to the Elite Eight, is within an eyelash of going to the Final Four against Miami. Rodney Terry gets the job and becomes a very wealthy man. So this is by no means like a pity party for Rodney Terry. But in his first full season, they go to the second round and they lose to Tennessee. And this year, they lose in the round of, whatever this is, the first four. And last night, they blew a 13-point lead to Xavier. And honestly, that was like basically a road game for Texas. They kind of got screwed in that regard because the games were played in Dayton and Cincinnati, obviously not too far. And if you watched the game last night and if you saw some of the quotes this morning, that crowd was amazing. And, Xavier, Sean Miller, some of the players, Zach Fremantle, they're crediting the crowd with really helping them and just kind of putting wind in their sails. So Rodney Terry is, all the reports this morning, 247 Sports was the first place I saw it, or maybe On 3 last night. But, now it's pretty much everywhere. The Austin American-Statesman is like probably the most legitimate, right, like out of the Austin area that covers Texas. No offense to Darby Brown and CBS Austin. But they say he's likely to get fired. And this was as of like an hour ago. But last night, Jeff Goodman, actually, obviously a very good college basketball reporter, that's where I saw it. A Field of 68 reported Wednesday night that he is likely to get let go. So yesterday we saw Darren DeVries officially announced as the head coach of Indiana, right? On Tuesday it was announced that he would leave West Virginia. This is the world we're living in. If you're at West Virginia and you're hypersensitive to the fact that Darren DeVries just left you, just look across what used to be your old partner in the Big 12, Texas, and see what just happened to Rodney Terry. Like, at some point, if things go bad, the posse is going to catch up to you, right? So, and I heard Digger Phelps say that a long time ago about college basketball and coaches. And that was before all of these changes where the player empowerment era was not underway yet. And I think that's great that it is. I think players should be able to do what they want. They generate so much money. I'll say the lightning rod thing, which I always say, and I think if Rodney Terry wasn't a black dude, it might be a little different. That's just my opinion. Whatever. I always think that in these cases, just because that's what I think. And that's no shot at anybody at Texas, or maybe it is, I don't know. But it's also frustrating to see, like, you know, Texas is Texas, right? And so I get, like, when you go to Texas, I've called just for transparency, I've called like 4, I guess, of Rodney Terry's games while he was in the Big 12. And he was friends with Lance Blanks, very close. Lance obviously was cool to me. There's a picture of him right over there. Lance is gone. He passed away. But Lance was, like, helpful in my career, big time. And he was somebody who left an indelible impact on me. And so I'm always loyal to a guy like Rodney Terry. And I understand that Texas sees itself as the creme de la creme of all college athletics. And if you take a trip there, honestly, and you hang out in those facilities, it's easy to understand why. Everything is bigger in Texas, they say. Everything is better at the University of Texas. That's how I see it. With their facilities and even their fans and just like the college experience overall. When you go to a game at Texas, and I'm just talking basketball now, it's hard to not be overwhelmed with the environment, the amenities, and all the bells and whistles that come with a major college program like that. But at the same time, like, the guy went to the Elite Eight, almost made the Final Four. It's not like he's missed the tournament. I mean, you could say he didn't make it this year. He continues to bring in amazing recruits. And because that's really his strength as a recruiter. And it's been 2 years and he's gone. So, like, when you're on, like, and I know it's 2 totally different fan bases, but I think we all need to understand when we see a situation like the Rodney Terry thing, and we see that Darren DeVries has taken so much crap this morning and yesterday and the day before, like, look, this is why these guys are so quick to leave when they get another opportunity, and this is why we can't really crap all over them. Now, nobody's feeling bad for Rodney Terry this morning. I mean, millions upon. Let's look. There's one more thing. We'll look at his contract, and then we will look at some of the candidates, and then we'll talk about big March Madness here and the tournament that's starting up. All right, Rodney Terry. Okay, so base salary, his base salary was $3 million a year, right? Paid bonuses of about $75,000. So we're talking about, $3.1 million all in, right? And that's, let's see, the deal was, I think it was like 4 years. So, $12 million, that ain't bad, right? And potential maximum bonuses and the buyout, by the way, is $5.4 million. But nobody's going to have to buy him out because he's not going. It's not like he's going anywhere on his own volition. But anyways, Rodney Terry's a very wealthy guy, so we're not going to feel bad for him. But it makes the Darren DeVries move a little bit more. It just makes it make a little bit more sense. Okay. Now, before we get to March Madness and the actual games, right? This is some of my favorite stuff to talk about. Sporting News now weighing in with potential candidates that could replace Rodney Terry. We start with one very close to home, Texas Tech. Now, when you think back, and I'm Grant McCaslin from Texas Tech, by the way. Yeah, Texas already did this, right? That's what the Sporting News says. They took Chris Beard from Texas Tech and got him to come to Texas. McCaslin is 48-19 with Texas Tech. He's getting set to play now as a 3 seed. Everywhere the guy goes, he wins. If I was Texas, that would be my first call, my very first call. I don't see a situation where Grant McCasland goes to Texas and doesn't win, like doesn't become a perennial power. I think with that type of commitment, and really the Texas Tech commitment is something special too. They have so much money there that's a pretty good reason for Grant McCasland to stay put. His wife played softball there too, so they have real connections in the Lubbock area. But again, these are jobs that open up, and it's really hard not to take them if you're offered them. Nate Oates is another candidate. That will be like one of those power swings, right? To see Nate Oates go from Texas or from Alabama to Texas, you could argue lateral move, whatever. Tommy Lloyd is a possibility. Jamie Dixon is a possibility. And that's what Sporting News has him as, like a safe candidate, right? I don't know about that. And then some NBA Royale Ivy is a Rockets assistant. They won't give him the job. He played at Texas. He was actually hey, our audio is really crackly. We're hearing that from from Cameron Stewart, who's about to join us. Cameron says, your audio is really crackling, if you don't already know it. So Quinn Snyder is another one, as is Billy Donovan, okay? So some stuff we got to keep an eye on, right? All right, we're going to try to get the audio sorted out, and we'll come back with Cameron Stewart in our B block, where Cam is going to talk March Madness, and we are going to talk all things Celtics and Karen Reed. This new Karen Reed documentary is blowing my mind. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovaceks. Back after this.
Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. 25 Home, our ultimate goal is to provide you with a transformative experience, making each day feel like it has an extra hour. We believe your home is more than just a space, it's a sanctuary where comfort, relaxation, and happiness thrive. Discover the difference at 25 Home today. Shop now at 25home.com.
I need to get real excited.
Sure.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Sheridan Vasquez. And this is Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions. And I will be interviewing some of your favorite musicians and maybe some you've never heard before. Join me on Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions for something new every time. You can find Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemediamusic.com. Yeehaw. And keep the music playing.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. Want to turn your passion into profit? With Blogify, creating a blog has never been easier. Build, customize, and grow your site with powerful tools designed for beginners and pros alike. Start sharing your story today and watch your audience grow with Blogify. Visit blogify.ai today for a free 3-day trial. That's Blogify, Blogify.ai today. Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Stay connected no matter where you are with eSIMX. Say goodbye to expensive roaming charges and physical SIM cards. With access to over 200 global carriers, we make mobile connectivity seamless and affordable for travelers worldwide. Join the future of communication today at esimx.com. That's ESIMX.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Easy Sun has been living fearlessly under the sun since 2016. Born from sailors' need for convenient sun protection, our mineral sunscreen is crafted with natural ingredients offering broad spectrum protection against UVA and UVB rays. Safe for your skin and the environment, stay protected on the go with Easy Sun, your ultimate sun care solution. Visit EasySun.com today. That's EEZYSUN.com.
Cam.
Pete.
Hey, goddamn Cam Stewart. Hold on, Cam. I'm going to put the headphones on, okay?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Can you hear me, buddy?
I got you.
Hey, yo, it's MC Pete on the mic with Cam. You like it, Zach? Yeah. Cam, Cam, what would be your name if you were a rapper?
Oof. That's tough. I mean, I did have one back in the day, back in about 7th grade. I believe it was Master Skittles, I think is what it was. I'd have to go back and check.
Do you want to know what mine was?
Yes, I would.
Zach, you ready for this? Suburb. SUBHERB. Step aside, everybody.
That is something. In the mean streets of Bryn Mawr?
Well, no, this is when I was at Richmond. I had a hip hop radio show with my buddy Brian Talrico, and it was Suburb and Corleone. He was Corleone. He was Rico Corleone. And you know what? Hey, Brian.
That sounds like a conflict of interest. Aren't they Corleones trying to beat Rico all the time?
That's very good, Cam.
Actually, I don't even know if Rico existed then, but yeah.
That's really good. It didn't, and it's because of families like them that it does exist. Really. So, yeah, and Tal Rico, huge St. John's guy. His dad went to St. John's and season tickets, so good luck to them. Because I can remember the last time St. John's made any kind of real tournament run was really 1999. They were in the Elite Eight. Mike Jarvis was the head coach, and they lost.
Speaking of Rico, how about the coaches that are going to be at that Providence Regional, huh? With Patino, Calipari, Self, and Will Wade all right there. That's fantastic.
Will Wade should be the first one they take.
I said, I wonder if like the real fans are going to be able to get any seats or if the FBI bought all of them up.
Wow, you are lethal, dude. See, this is what I'm talking about. Maybe it's been too long, but this is the kind of stuff you should take on the road. You know?
I know. It should. It should, man.
What's your initial reaction to the Rodney Terry's getting fired?
Not surprised at all, man. I can't believe how much respect I lost for Rodney Terry in his tenure at UT.
Why?
Well, most impressingly, he's a fucking baby. Like he bitches and whines and moans. And I'm like, as much as this really fits the University of Texas, like they're not going to do anything if that's your attitude, like it's not going to happen. Like the great coaches don't really do, like obviously Danny Hurley loses his mind and Bobby Knight has a complaint for everything, but they don't go in the press conference afterwards and be like, yeah, we don't do horns down. We don't do that. And then, talk about how, they're up there celebrating in the handshake line. Like, that's classless. We win with class. And then,
all right, that was one incident almost 2 years ago.
And then they beat A&M, and he's in the handshake line going, yeah, like to the fans as he's shaking hands. I'm like, dude, that's fine, but you can't be both things. So I've never liked Rodney Terry.
Okay.
That's not true, because at first when they hired him, I thought that was a good call because he had been through a couple of regimes as like their lead recruiter, which today in college basketball, that's not an easy thing to do, to survive a couple of coaches in that kind of position. And then as an interim, he takes them to the Elite Eight. So I'm thinking this isn't just the interim bump. Like, this guy has been here. He's developed relationships with
And he
these
was
guys.
a Division I coach at 2 stops before, UTEP and Fresno State.
Yeah, and so I was thinking, like, this is a good hire. And I just think they have not maximized their talent since he's been there.
I don't know. That's tough, though. I mean, they lost in the second round last year, and they're out, obviously, in the first 4 this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they haven't made the tournament. And he went to the Elite Eight that year. You could say it's Chris
barely
Beard.
made the tournament with a top 5 pick.
Yeah. I think they should have given him one more year. But whatever. I mean, but here was my point this morning. I don't know if you heard it, but it's like people that are up in arms at West Virginia about Darren DeVries leaving, like, look at a situation like this. This is why these guys leave all the time. Like, as much as people in West Virginia, and I get it, they're diehards. They do play for the whole state there, right? But this is how it goes. Like, you're telling me if Darren DeVries had 2 straight losing seasons, he wouldn't get fired? You know, like, right?
Right. No, he would. I think they're upset with him having the deal in place for a week. That doesn't sound too great. But
do you know what's funny? So I did their last home game. So, like, potentially, like, he met with us and spoke with us that Saturday morning, and, like, maybe he probably, like, almost sealed a deal. I don't know. Is that not crazy?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That is
crazy.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. But, I mean, I've done that in jobs before. You know?
Well, there you go.
You know, so it's tough for me to blame too much. Yeah, it happens.
All right, Kim. So I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to fill in the blank. Okay.
Okay.
Baylor.
Okay. Go ahead.
Baylor fans will be blank by the team this March.
They will be content.
Okay.
Because I think they win tomorrow. I think they beat Mississippi State, and I think they lose to Duke. They keep it respectable, but they lose to Duke. And by the end of March, you know, Duke's in the Final Four, and you're like, yeah, you know, that happens. It was a disappointing season. Like, everyone will start talking about how much they love Norchad Omier. And they'll be content. I think they'll be content because Baylor fans, for better or for worse, won't factor in the fact that they were a top 10 team in the preseason polls and the hype that we all had for this team going into the season. They're not going to factor that in. They're going to see a team that, you know, the last 2 months of the year was just up and down, win, loss. And they're going to be content with the fact that they went to the tournament and won a tournament game and that Scott Drew is still here because Indiana's got their guy and he's certainly not going to UT. So they'll be content.
When you say he's certainly not going to UT, even hearing his name mentioned in the same breath with the possibility of that job, could you imagine?
No, I couldn't. No, I think there's no shot. They'll throw the bag at Grant, though.
I think they will, and I think they might get him.
There's that opportunity, sure. Yeah.
I mean, I think he has – the resources are very, very good, right?
Absolutely.
At Texas Tech right now. And I was mentioning before but you got on, you know, his wife went there. She played softball there. Like, he's really, like, you know, at home there. We'd have to – Mosley probably knows a lot because that's his frat buddy, right?
That's his boy, yeah.
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 That
would be really going to the enemy. Baylor grad, husband of a Tech grad, and you just go down to UT. I mean, it's happened. But
so you're a Duke guy growing up. You're named after Cameron Indoor Arena.
Stadium. Yep.
Your favorite team.
Growing up. Yep.
How do you feel about the potential of that Sunday matchup? By the way, we've got the number 1 CBS broadcasting team at this region. That will probably be the number 1 primetime spot, like in that afternoon Sunday 4:00 spot, the same place they put like the 4:30 NFL games.
Is
right,
that Eagle now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be Iron Eagle. It's Grant Hill, I think, and it's Tracy Wolfson.
Bias. I would not love to see Grant Hill on there. That's not fair. If you do, you need to combat him. I need King McClure on that as well.
Hey, right. Grant, you need to chill.
I know you run a Team USA and everything.
So
this is the call. Yeah.
What is your potential? What's the potential of a Baylor upset? I think it's out there.
It's in play.
Yeah,
It's in play. Like all that intangible crap that we like in March, Baylor kind of has.
yes,
Right? Like they've got a good balance of the phenom freshmen and some guys who have been in the trenches, who've been in the, like you went out and got 2 guys from the transfer portal who played in the Final Four for a reason. And this is the reason. They have one more bite at the apple, and this is it. You've got a coach that's won a national championship, who's been in these wars, who's been in these battles. And Duke, while supremely talented, maybe the most talented team in the country, is young. You know, they haven't played in the tournament before. You know, they're big guys, right? Knuppel and Cooper Flag. So I think like all that kind of intangible stuff there, Jeremy Roach going against his former team, against what he will say is a coach that didn't believe in him, you know, giving up the point guard spot to somebody else last year. So there is the possibility. The thing that I don't like about this Baylor team when it comes to an upset more than any of the other stuff, you know, the fact that they're a 9 seed, more than any of the other stuff is that I just don't know if they can get hot from 3, which I really think is what you need to curate an upset these days in today's college basketball. That used to be the great cheat code 15 years ago. If you had guys who can hit a bunch of threes and get hot one game, you could beat anybody. And I just don't think Baylor can do that. Like, I don't think there's a game where they can go, you know, 11 of 20 from 3. VJ
would have to rediscover that January stroke,
where
right?
he became the best 3-point shooter on the team. I mean, maybe he still is because the rest aren't that great, but
VJ, by the way, is my equivalent, and you'll appreciate this as a hockey guy. He's potentially Baylor's hot goalie. Like, if VJ Edgecombe gets hot, like, Baylor can go all the way to the Elite Eight. You know, like, if he gets out of his mind, like, he's that guy.
And I think what goes in that, Pete, is, you know, we talked about Norchad O'Meara quite a bit. Like, it is pretty great for a 9 seed to have a guy you can pencil in for a double-double. And is going to play like he's going to do a lot of the dirty work for you too. Like, the problem with the Duke matchup is I just don't know that they can guard both Cooper Flag and Con Knuppel. Maybe VJ can guard Knuppel. But that's kind of the big thing for me. But yeah, when you pencil in a double-double from Norchad O'Meara, like, that opens up a lot of avenues that a lot of 8-9 seeds wouldn't have.
But by the way, this is also, they could very easily lose tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, we
I
know
ran
that.
through
And
2 simulations yesterday and both had them losing by 20. So
really?
yeah, which I was a little surprised by, but yeah.
What's the number? They're like a 1.5 point underdog.
Yeah, it's something slim. I haven't checked today. I picked him in my bracket.
Oh, so did I. I have him in the Sweet 16.
Hell yeah.
No, I actually, that's a lie. I don't.
Oh, okay.
But I thought about it though.
At least you thought about it.
I really did. But I was like, nah, I don't want to be that kind of idiot. All right. So Baylor is 1.5 point underdog. All right. Let's move on to the Celtics. Big sale today. What is it? $5.1 billion.
$6.1 billion.
$6.1 billion.
Harold
Katz bought the 76ers for $10 billion back in like 1980 something or 70 something. Crazy. How does this sale affect the team, affect the vibe around the fan base? Does it matter? Does it not? Deal or no deal?
Well, I mean, I think they're going to be, I don't want to say sold a bag of goods because that means that it's not going to come to fruition. But I think the Celtics fans are going to buy into this sale because the guy's a Celtics fan. He's a local guy. I mean, he probably hadn't been in Massachusetts in a while if he's running a private equity firm in California. But he's a local guy, just like Wick was. And I think the big part about all of this is buried in the fact that this guy, Bill Chisholm, if you will, isn't going to run the team until 2028. Like, there's 2 parts to the sale, and the second part of it is that Wick is basically controlling the team through the 27-28 season. So I don't know what that financial then looks like if Wick is completely running the team financially throughout that time, because next year is when you have to, and maybe this offseason as well, is when you have to start worrying about the second apron for the Celtics and this new CBA. And that's the big question amongst anybody who's going to own this team. Are you going to do the Golden State model, or are you going to do the everybody else model? The Golden State model is the owner doesn't care how much he's spending. He just wants to keep a winning team on the floor. He'll pay the luxury tax because it's going to be a big price tag if this championship team is constructed the same way that it is now in 2 years. It's going to be a humongous price tag. The Warriors never had to worry about it. Their ownership group said, yep, we'll pay it. You guys just keep winning championships. And it's going to be an interesting position if, like, let's just say, the Celtics win this year, or they win next year and it's 2 out of 3 or back to back. It's going to be real tough for an owner to come in and start stripping it down and saying, all right, that was great, guys, but I got to save some money.
Especially in his first act.
Right. The most intriguing part about any sale with the Celtics, no matter who's buying them, outside of the luxury tax stuff, is the math of all of this. So $6.1 billion, it's the most that's ever been paid for a
franchise in North
franchise.
America. Yeah.
The Commanders sold for 6.05 last year. The Celtics, unlike the Commanders, are not in the NFL, which is the easiest moneymaker of all time, but the NBA is right up there. And 2, they don't own their own building. They're tenants of the Garden.
Gotcha.
And
wow.
And there's obviously speculation of whomever comes in here is going to build their own arena. And that could be great long-term, but it might not be great for a team in the short term when you're spending however much, whatever Steve Ballmer spent on the Intuit Dome to build that in Everett, Yeah.
That could affect you on the floor immediately.
That's the big one to kind of keep an eye on. Now, that obviously wouldn't happen until, 2028 or so. And Boston has really struggled to get new arenas paid by taxpayers. They haven't had one in 30 years. With this Garden. So that's going to be a real interesting one. How good is the investment if you don't own your building, if you don't own your game day revenue? That's a big deal. Wick said you make money on parades.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. All right, so there's your Celtics sale. I didn't know about, because I was listening to Dan Patrick talk about it this morning, and he was asking his guys, the Danettes, like, is the arena involved? And because that's a huge
There's got to be an idea. They have to have an idea.
Yeah.
So the Bruins own the building. The company that owns the Bruins, those cheapskates, they own the building. And so they're getting some kind of playoff revenue, whether the Bruins make it or not. I don't know exactly how much of the deal the Celtics get on their game day revenue, but it's not all of it.
Yeah.
And, you look at a team like the Lakers or the Clippers, who are the most second fiddle team of all time. And they're third fiddle on a city with 2 teams. And they own all their game day revenue. It's just going to be very enticing for a new owner to come in and say, well, if we can get an arena, I'm building a fucking arena. And that will be interesting in that it will be in the tail end of the Jays' prime, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So are they sacrificing more championship teams at the end of their prime to build an arena? It remains to be seen.
Is Karen Reed guilty?
Oof. At the end of the day, no, I don't think she is. And I haven't finished the docuseries yet. Have you?
No, I haven't, but I've watched the first 2.5 episodes. Yeah. It's just, look, dude, first of all, you if I could, a Rogue Media version of Turtle Boy is you, which is awesome.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
No, that's not legit. But I was thinking about.
I've known about Turtle Boy forever, man. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I guess he's been coming up with, conspiracies and
he uncovered one that happened in my hometown. I don't know if it was uncovered was the right word, but he was the only one to report these 2 town employees banging in the town hall after hours. Both having affairs. It was great.
So, by the way, I was listening to a podcast last night. I couldn't sleep last night, so I was listening to a podcast about Karen Reed, and it's one of the women who was there on the scene with her Who in the HBO documentary, by the way, it's clearly like a Karen Reed vehicle.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Like 100%.
Have to take that into account.
Yes, very much so.
They have they have that one. Clearly, everyone on the other side, the prosecution has been told not to talk, which is smart. And they have one guy who's like, he's a defense attorney, not on the defense, but he is a defense attorney. Yeah. That's just kind of playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
Like you've seen that guy with the white beard. He just plays devil's advocate for everything that Karen says. So they do something, but it is definitely Karen Reed approved. Yeah.
Dude, have you heard? So I was listening to this podcast and they interview one of the women who was on the scene with her, one of the friends of John. And the woman said that when Karen knew exactly where this poor guy was, where it was like impossible. You know, it's whiteout conditions. You can't see 8 feet in front of your face. And she darts over like to where he was, this pile of snow, and he's there. And the woman says that Karen Reed lifted up John's shirt, lifted up her shirt, and lays on top of him in like what is described as a crazy scene. Like, have you heard that?
No, I can understand the reasoning behind it, but I had never heard that. That seems like something that would come up here.
They describe
like she feels that he's very cold, and she's like, "Oh shit, this is the only way I can warm him up."
Or the woman makes it sound like, God damn, I should have put the clip aside to play it. The woman sounds like it was just like a crazy move. Makes it sound like Karen was acting
probably,
crazy.
yeah.
But so they paint her. She was a nutty woman, I think. Could we say that? I mean, is that okay in today's world? Yeah. And watching her talk, she's kind of nutty. You know?
Can I say something that's going to sound mean, but I promise it's not?
Yeah.
Like, so you're engaged now, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
But as a man, you know, in your 40s and somewhat recently on the dating scene, like you've seen women like this.
Oh, boy.
Right?
You're like, telling me.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
They're not like horrible people, but they're a little high strung. They're a little extra. Like Karen Reed certainly seems like that. And the whole time in this documentary, you know, she's just like, she'll start to talk about John and be like, you know, this was tragic for John. I'm looking for justice for John, but also I'm fighting for my life right now. I'm fighting for like every fucking other sentence from her is like, I'm fighting for my life. And it's like, we get it. You are. This is an incredible circumstance, but we also understand that, Karen. It's episode 4. We get it. Yeah. So like you do know this kind of, and we all kind of know this kind of person.
Oh, dude, she ran hot. Like there was that situation.
The voicemails, man. I mean, they look terrible now, but damn.
Well, and the two of them, they're in Mexico, and the situation where she thinks that she caught him making out with somebody, and it turns out to be like a family friend. And the family friend, because John's drunk as like
John's late sister's friend.
Yes. And John is wasted, and he bumps into her, and the woman is like, John, go down there if that's where you're going. So Karen like just appears and is like, who the F is that? You know, and the woman
the lobby,
can hear them yelling. And the woman makes it clear, like, hey, like, nice to meet you. Like, I'm just like a friend. And Karen's like, you know, like, I don't give a F who you are. Like, get the F out of here. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, that is all I need to hear. Right? About that relationship, this woman, this was toxic, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was.
And John was the kind of guy, like, dude, if you have like a fiance, a serious girlfriend, you can't have like all these girlfriends. John had all these friends that were girls. Yeah. You're gonna make your significant other crazy. Like even that whole situation, like at some point it's like
Pete, blaming the victim here. Victim.
I'm not. But I just think the whole situation was completely explosive, right? And the amount of alcohol involved with these people is troubling, dude. I mean, she had 10 drinks the night that he died.
Yeah. She's claiming she only drank like 6 of them. I'm like, that's still a lot. That's still probably too many to be driving.
She's a tiny little woman.
Yeah, like that's still probably too much.
Yeah, and they got started at like 9, so it's not like it was like an all day thing. Like it was like we're talking 9 to 12. This 120-pound woman had like 9 or 10 hard alcohol drinks.
Yeah,
that's a lot,
double
dude.
shots. Yeah,
yeah.
This is
So
what's so
Boston. I love it, dude. I
well, I love how she
it.
said. I love how she says in the documentary. She goes, "Well, we went out and drank. Only thing to do in Canton is drink. Like that's what everybody does. We just drink all night." And it's so. I won't get into that. But what's so 2025 about it is like if you put a gun to my head and ask me what happened, like I think the most likely scenario is that she accidentally hit him.
Yeah.
And just didn't
so, too.
notice. You know what I mean? And like. You know, because she says, I didn't feel a 200-pound man hit my car. But like, if you've had 7 drinks, maybe you don't.
Wasted. And
yeah, maybe
look,
you just don't feel it. Maybe you think it's your head hitting the headrest, you know?
I will say this one thing too.
But what's so 2025 is that can't be the answer. It has to be this massive cover up. Or Aaron Reed losing her mind and killing him and going, you know, blacking out, going back, you know. It can't just be that.
Do you agree with the cover up? Like he was beat like to death? I don't buy that. I just like
I actually don't. I don't think the beating to death is that crazy, or as crazy as it should sound like. Because dude, like funny, the things on the arm, the bites and the cuts on the arm, I still don't get this.
Yeah.
Like I still don't understand how that comes from a car. Like you know what I mean? I don't. And who knows? Maybe they got into a physical fight the night before, and we just don't know it. You know that could have happened, and he just didn't tell anybody, and then the next day he's dead. You know that could be it. But then they bring in the expert who had offered herself up to the defense, actually, about the dog bite expert, who's like, yeah, this probably comes from a dog. This probably comes from a German Shepherd who was an aggressive dog that was in the house. And the only thing about that I can, like, the only narrative I can buy into is, the people are upstairs. So they have like 10 witnesses. There's a bunch of people in this house. And, John comes in the front door and they bring him down to the basement. They're like, hey, like whatever, like, let's have a drink in the basement or something. I got to show you something. And they kick the shit out of him there. And maybe it goes too far. Maybe they intended to do it.
What's the motive, Cam?
That I don't know. See, that's the thing. And the other thing is, which is brought up in episode 4, which I didn't even know until this point. They have train tracks behind their house. And so instead of doing that, they put him on their own lawn. I get it's a blizzard, but like somebody can see him. He's on their own front lawn. Like they don't dispose of the body. Like they don't try to hide the body. They don't try to put it on the train tracks. They don't.
The Google search is crazy. The Google search is crazy.
That is the thing that keeps me with this, Pete.
Yeah,
it's the damn Google search.
The woman who's in the house.
And there's
how
been
long
no
does it take to die in the cold?
Yeah, there hasn't even been a bullshit explanation for it. There's been nothing. There's been no answers to that. How long does it take? How long does it take for a body to? What is it? Freeze in the cold, die in the cold.
Die in the cold is what it said.
Like that is fishy. And I know there was some beef between like some, I don't know, kind of cop beef between the guys beforehand. But there's also got to be, like, this is the same way I feel about the moon landing. Like there's got to be a lot of people in cahoots that don't come out.
100%. I mean, and which I think is impossible.
I mean, we can limit it to law enforcement. Again, with that example of all the witnesses, maybe they're upstairs and the music's playing and they don't hear it in the basement or something. Yeah. Like I think that's plausible. But you've got to have a lot of law enforcement people in on this. The crooked cops happen everywhere, but that's a lot to put together.
A lot, dude. And the old saying, like, if 2 people know about something, one of them's going to talk. I mean, like, that is eventually that stuff comes out, and it's been a while, and a lot of people under a lot of pressure. All right, Cam.
One thing. Have you gotten to the part about the car going into the garage, the police garage?
No. Tell me. I mean,
you'll see it in the doc, but it's harrowing. So they have in evidence, like the video of whatever the state police garage is, mechanic shop, whatever, the car coming in. And according to this video, like you can see the side of the car that is supposed to be where the taillight's broken. You can't really see that it is broken, but you can see that side of the car, and you can see the investigators going around it. So what the prosecution is saying is that, all right, if they were to tinker with the car right now, you'd be able to see it. You'd be able to see him slam a club in it. And then you can like there's a car kind of in the foreground in the corner that has police backwards. And so they find out that they mirrored the image. So it's the other side of the car that you're seeing. And you can see people going around the other side, but you wouldn't be able to see if anything's happening to it. So like there's just enough seeds here that it's like there's enough seeds here that I think she will be found not guilty.
What does this say? Last question, I promise, about Boston.
I mean, it doesn't paint the greatest light. I mean, Boston's got a history of corrupt politicians, corrupt cops. Like this ain't new.
Which honestly, most every place does.
Sure.
You know,
most major cities. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but the Boston, like honestly.
But when you have a Best Picture winner that's all about crooked cops and the mob, you know, like you get that reputation as well. So. Yeah.
It's really amazing.
When your greatest gangster of all time is also a rat, an informant, you know, that happens. So
it's pretty amazing, man. I love Boston, and the personality of it, of course, like the Karen Reed, like, you know, being cute. I mean, that all plays into how we're so invested in this.
It's the trial of the decade right now.
Like it or not, it really is. And I think that when is this going to go back on trial officially? When does it start?
Oh,
like 2 weeks?
Know. Yeah,
I think it's 2
saw
weeks.
the date the other day. It's April. Yeah. And by the way, this obviously it's a big national story. This has a vice grip on Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Like, so I went home for a wedding last summer, like end of June, early July, and we have a 4th of July party at our house. It's all family, you know, 60, 70-year-old people. And that's all anyone talked about because they're all retirees now and they just watch the Karen Reed stuff all day.
Yeah.
And we have some that live in Dedham or next to Dedham, and they're like, we can't go by the courthouse. It's a mob scene. Sports Talk Radio in July is talking about it because there's nothing else going on.
I love it. Yes.
It is everywhere.
Dude, it's
everywhere.
March. Let me tell you something, okay? And I'm not a complete idiot. I had a basketball game I had to work. I have this show, obviously. I have another show. Everybody's busy. Everybody's busy, but it's March Madness. It's like when you texted me, I was on a plane headed to Stanford, and I got the text that said Karen Reed tonight. I was like, I literally was like, okay, I've prepared enough for this game. And I went right to that show. Like
I think I'm going to finish it today.
It's kind of crazy. And I'll say this one last thing. When you mentioned the trial coming up and the vice grip on Boston, I believe, at least for me personally, when that jury deliberates, that's going to be like a where you were, like a mini where you were type moment. I'll know where I was when that jury comes back, if they do eventually come back. If they're not, they could be hung again and then whatever.
Sure.
But,
there's still so much that logically just points to Karen.
Yeah.
Like
she's a pretty good liar if she did do it. She's a very good liar.
Yeah. Which has happened before. I mean,
but like OJ was like, this guy's full of shit. He did it. But like her, like, I don't know. All right, Cam Stewart, the Cam Show's coming up. Brother, I appreciate it. Always a good time.
Anytime. Let's talk again when you finish the doc.
All right, we will. I'd love it.
All right. Then we'll have our own thing. Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right, Pete. Thanks, man.
See you, bud. All right, Zach, can we take Cam away? And then I'll wrap it up. All right. That was Cam. That was a lot of fun. The Karen Reed documentary, A Body in the Snow, is on HBO right now. And boy, it is mesmerizing. And now it's time to stop talking about Karen Reed and turn the page to March Madness. One last thing about Madness. You know, Christy, my fiance, is wonderful. And she's on it with all kinds of stuff. And she's really helped me out with my dog, Sadie. Not only, you know, Sadie's a part of it's all our family now, right? But Sadie's really, her kids are just amazing with Sadie. Christy's amazing with Sadie. She's taking her today for an interview at a new doggy daycare. I mean, it's great, right? But there's been drugs that have been introduced to my dog since Christy has come into my life, trying to get like this dog right. A lot of scratching from Sadie. Maybe there was some skin irritation or rashes. And, you know, lucky for us, Christy's sister is a vet. So, I mean, we got help on speed dial. So Sadie's, you know, scratching and itching. And if you're a dog owner and you see your dog scratching, it's always kind of like, God damn it. So, and Christy's like next level with that kind of stuff. So she was like, we got to fix this, which is the right way to be. Not like how I am, which is like ignore it and it'll probably go away soon, you know? But anyways, she was put on steroids. We're talking like 6 months ago, okay? For this irritation and this rash. And the scratching has stopped significantly, as has shedding and other stuff. The problem is my dog is now like Lyle Alzado. Like she's on steroids for 6 months now. And she's constantly looking to engage with humans. If they're not paying attention to us, or if we're not paying attention to her, she literally, it's almost like she's going to start to talk. My dog is now menacing. She paces when she's not getting attention. She barks when you're not talking to her. She is a roided out dog. And it needs to stop. So as much as we want to get this dog healthy, I need to make a push. I did this morning. Christy's going to follow up with her sister. I can only hope that they'll both be honest, because sometimes in Christy's family, they can decide something is one thing and that's just what it is. And I fear that's what we could be up against here. So my dog might live forever, but the only problem is she's like the Incredible Hulk of dogs now. So wish me luck with that. And hey, good luck to everybody in their pool. I will give you my final four. Okay. I feel very, very good about this. The Cam Show is coming up next. My final four is, and I want you to stay with me. Okay. This is a good one. Michigan State and Texas Tech, Arizona, and no, that's wrong. Sorry. Sorry. I have Arizona and Houston and Michigan State and Texas Tech. And then I have Texas Tech beating Houston. In another pool, I have St. John's beating Houston in the final. So I have two different Final Fours. But either way, I got 5 teams in the Final Four. I got Michigan State, Texas Tech, Arizona, Houston, and then I slipped St. John's in one. So that's it, the Pete Sousa Show. We rock and roll tomorrow. We're going to be back. We're talking Texas basketball again tomorrow. We got a friend of the show dialed in with Texas basketball, and we're going to get to the bottom of the Rodney Terry thing, but of course, instant reaction to all the March Madness. That is all for now. We will see you on Friday.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference, because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today. We are Rogue Media Sports.